Everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Sober Talk. Uh, I apologize for missing everybody yesterday, and it kind of played into today. I am exhausted, folks. I am exhausted. They've been working me pretty hard at work. But that's one of the joys of sobriety. I get to work hard. Yeah, and I make an honest living. It may not be much to some, but it's mine. Hey, Ellen, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Glad that you're here today. um, we're basically um so I've been putting in some time at work, and it's really awesome that that I'm able to put the time in at work. Um, you know, when I was out there doing what I was doing, there wasn't it wasn't good. Um, well, I hope everyone's doing well today. Come in, make yourself at home. Sober Talk is not just for alcoholics; it's for everyone. Everybody knows somebody who's an alcoholic. And what I will be discussing a lot of, so if you're new to Sober Talk, what I talk a lot about, a lot of times I end up talking about just life and life in general. Life happens even in sobriety, and it's not always peaches and cream, if you will. Sometimes that bed of roses still has a lot of thorns in it, and that's the way life is. You have to get through, when you're in recovery, when you're an alcoholic, you don't have, like before, you could numb all of your pain of the day-to-day problems. I am not single. I actually, my wife is in the uh, living room right now, zonked out. She fell asleep from us watching. We've been getting caught up on some TV shows we've been wanting to watch. And no, I do not have Snapchat. I have no need for Snapchat. I'm not interested in Snapchat. I have a hard enough time keeping up with Facebook. It's one of those things. And you know, feel free to stay. You know, this is Sober Talk, and again, we're talking about the fact that, all right, real quick, you always know when you're talking to an alcoholic in recovery. It's real easy. We have a sober date, or as we like to say in Alcoholics Anonymous, our sobriety birthday. Mine is February 7th, 2006. Been sober for over 15 years. I don't go much anywhere to get into trouble anyways, so that's just kind of the nature of the game. Um, so there you have that. Again, you know, this is um, this is the good stuff. Talking about what it's like getting sober and everything. Um, I don't have alcohol to numb the pain anymore. But when you hear me talk about life, this is just when I was still drinking, if you will. I know this almost sounds cliche. Well, again, I'm a happily married man, and I enjoy life to the fullest. You know, I like I said, I don't do. I have a hard enough time with social media as it is. Um, I don't spend a whole lot of time on social media. If I get on Facebook, it's mostly just get caught up with what's going on with my family. That's really about it. And I mainly have it for Messenger because it's sometimes about the only way you can get a hold of me anymore. It's just really hard for me to slow down. The YouTube channel's doing what it's doing, and I'm always, even when this camera, even when the camera's off, I'm in working on the next video, filming, and doing that sort of stuff. I stay very busy. Uh, so I don't really have a whole lot of time to to do anything else. Like come tomorrow, I have to go and um, I have to go pick up a part for Project Spirit, having a couple issues and that sort of thing. So, you know, and again, I'm a happily married man. I do apologize, um, this would have been a long time ago. This might have been a different story, but it isn't a long time ago. It's today, and we try to stay in the present. And I enjoy spending time with my wife. She puts up with me. I'm sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with me as much as I work on the channel and at work. Um, yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. It's good. She's a good woman. Good woman. No question about that. Um, so, all right, we covered that. um, what was I? I hope it's not a super quiet stream. I'm looking forward to later on tonight. Um, looks like it's going to be a recording, but it'll be kind of a recorded collab with a dear friend of mine, Mr. Gamerian. We've kind of got a group together. Hopefully, it's a four-man group if one of them's able to show up. I had my heart set on one of them, one particular person, but we're not talking a whole lot. It's okay. I've got nothing against him, and I hope he doesn't have any hard feelings towards me. But there's certain things that he does that I'm not exactly happy about. No hard feelings. It's just act more professional. Um, you know your your channel's doing pretty good. Act more professional when but that's no I won't even mention the person's name. If they're watching, they know who I'm talking about. If they're watching the playback, you know who I'm talking about. No disrespect, but you know you got a lot to learn about being professional. If there's one thing that good old sober man taught me a long time ago, when you go somewhere, leave it better than you found it. And when I try to go into other people's streams or anything like that, I do my best to try to leave that stream better than I found it. As a matter of fact, I spent a lot of time going above and beyond, um, doing a lot of acting and comedy when I'm in other people's streams. Or if they want, I could do a lot of talk about just about history, just knowledge in general. I'm very knowledgeable. And that's one of those things. I'm very grateful that I can do that. Um, so if you will, um, you know, I've done this even for this person, and the fact that they're not kind of reciprocating, showing that support, say like uh, for Phase Corner and things like that. Basically, we're not your doormat. Get it right, And as a matter of fact, when Tuesday Night Madness was going on, and Mr. Gamerian asked my wife to step up to the plate and basically host that show for him. It was a wonderful show. It was an amazing show, and very grateful that Ian did that. Because I know Princess Faye was very, very disheartened that certain ones of our friends did not come in, and I imagine even the pre-show could even see a change. I don't know. I don't know. Um, we'll see what happens. It's his show, and I'm very grateful that he's allowed us to kind of come in and you know um, be a part of Tuesday Night Madness. I look forward to it every Tuesday. Um, I know this almost sounds like it's off topic, but really it's not if you kind of take a look at it from the standpoint of a alcoholic in recovery. If this would have been, we'll say 16 years ago, I guarantee nobody would have wanted me hanging out in their live stream. I'd have made an ass of myself, okay? Um, and today, when I rage, here's a little inside track. When I'm raging in game, I'm really not raging. I'm actually smiling the whole time because I think it's funny. And I know all of you laugh too. So that is where that stands. I'm going to double check the chat. It really hasn't moved all that much. Okay, so it still hasn't really moved. I do see the likes going up. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. I don't see the counter moving. I don't know if anybody's saying anything. It could just be that everyone's just watching and listening, which is fine. Or YouTube's broken again. Either way, either way. Um, remember one day I was actually watching Ian play, and I think it was Destiny 2, and all of a sudden the counter just went ape shit. And I'm like, dude, you either going viral right now or YouTube's broken. He said YouTube's gotta be broken. It was, but it was still pretty, I kept putting in the chat, hey, if you are if you're watching, smash the like button, so it was like that. It was pretty cool. Uh, being that it's a nice Thursday, I don't suspect a whole lot of people will probably be poking their head in to the live stream. Most everyone's going to be out and about and hanging out with friends and going to do the things that none of us really got to do last year. But anyhow, all righty. So now that we've talked about, just kind of life in general. Oh, really? Is that what's going on? Wow. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you giving me the heads up. Yours aren't showing? Okay. Okay. So evidently YouTube's broken again. We broke it. Too much awesomeness. We'll soldier on the best we can. Um, so all righty. It sucks. I'm sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can do when YouTube's broken. We just soldier on the best we can. So really quick, you know, I wasn't really going to talk a whole lot about this a couple weeks ago. Last week I kind of mentioned it. So I'm going to go ahead and I could see that much. Yes. I don't know why. I think YouTube's acting the fool. It's acting up again. Shoot, you ought to see my OBS. It's been acting up for a minute. I see the likes coming in. Yeah, I noticed that. A lot. I've seen the counter going up and that sort of thing. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see if that does it. No, I don't have a clue. Not a clue. Hmm. I don't have a clue. Not a clue. No clue whatsoever. Share it out anyways. Either way, um, I'm gonna be live for a little bit. Um, and I'm probably gonna share as much as I can about a particular story. I'm gonna warn you, it's not uncommon that I get emotional. And I initially wasn't gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it. And it goes all the way back to March 20th of this month. Um, so regardless, even if the comments aren't showing up, this will still work out to our advantage. Yeah, that's visible. I don't know what's going on. I'm not 100% sure. Not a clue. Have they been having issues all day today? I know I put out I know earlier today I did a premiere video, which I fell asleep and missed my own premiere, which kind of sucked. A couple people were there, but it wasn't a super big deal. It was like 8 minutes long. Wasn't a huge deal. But I'll be going ahead and throwing out a story today that deals with the date March 20th. And it's been 15 years since this whole thing happened. So I'm going to share with you guys a story that goes back a ways. When I first got, before I got sober, if you will, we'll go back almost 16 years. It's been almost 16 years since I guess you could say this story kind of began. For those that don't know, I was an alcoholic of a very, very violent nature. So violent, in fact, I remember a dear friend of mine basically, and this was his own words. I don't know where he got it from, but he used these words. He said, when it comes to Prince Magnum, He's so mean you could pour boiling water down his throat and he would urinate ice cubes. That was how I put it. Um, Hell of a way to put it, huh? But that's who I was. That was before I got sober. So fast forward. Um, you know, I'm working in the medical field at that time. Now, obviously, I don't work the medical field anymore. I have long since retired from the medical field. Um, After my stroke, I had to retire. That's been 10, almost 11 years ago now. Um, so now that I've, said that, um, I was still working nursing homes. I was a certified nurse's aide, certified med tech, insulin certification. And that being the case, working in the medical field. Sure, not a problem, Bloggy. I'll be glad to pass that one on. It is. I know the recipe you're talking about, the pan fried fish fillets. Ironically enough, it's real simple. And there's actually a video of it for Surviving Romance. An actual, it's a little. It goes back a ways. It goes back to some of my earlier stuff. But yeah, yeah, just grab it. And I'll run through it real quick. Towards the end. Remind me, please. Remind me, please. Before the stream. Yeah, not a problem. If y'all will remind me towards the end of the live, I'll be glad to do it. Be glad to do it. Yeah, just remind me in a little. Let me get through this story, and I'll be glad to throw that. Yes, not a problem. How's it going, Chairman? You're well. We go. We got okay. So there we have it. Awesome. All right, thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Okay, so it is getting warm in this damn apartment. All right. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been having problems with YouTube today. Even my buddy Ian hasn't been live. Well, he had some stuff he had to take care of. All the way up to 17 likes. Thank you all so very much. I do appreciate each and every one of you for dropping those likes. Thank you. Don't know if there's any dislikes. I can't see that on this counter, but it doesn't matter anyways. Even if they dropped the dislike, that's all right. They were still here, and they that means they were still here, and that adds to my watch time. Thank you. Mm. Always a silver lining in every cloud. All righty. Dislike button isn't, no dislikes. Thank you so much, Chairman. All right, let's rock and roll with this story. So this again goes back almost 16 years, and I initially was going to talk about this story, but something compelled me for whatever reason to talk about it. And I was kind of asked to talk about it by a coworker. I don't know if she's going to be watching or not, but she was talking about some sad stories she's heard in sobriety. So I figured I told her a little of this one, and she's like, "Oh my God, that is so heartbreaking. I've got to, I would love to hear more." So here it is. Um, Basically, while working the medical field, this is again almost 16 years ago, I met a woman by the name of Tanya. Now, at the time, she's married, 4 kids. I'm engaged, 2 kids. Okay. Uh, so family life. And I'm sneaking around at this time drinking because I wasn't allowed to really openly drink. I wasn't supposed to be. Um, and this was again a time that I was struggling with me. I was having a real hard time. So what basically happened was, this friend of mine named Tanya, uh, she was really, really, truly a solid friend. Kind of kept all of us together, and I had a small group of friends. We were all real close. Um, and of course, we all knew each other's other halves, and we all hung out. and they all drank, and I didn't. You guys get it. I was sneaking around. Them spider webs got taken care of somehow, didn't they? Um, so basically, it comes. It's like the last. It's like a week before I get sober, and my then fiance packs up our two daughters and leaves. I was actually working a 16-hour shift in the nursing homes at this time. And I come home to an empty apartment. And I'd like to tell you I was all hip, slick, and cool. I can't talk. Hip, slick, and cool. And that I got sober right that second. I didn't. Actually, I I went on a drinking binge for the next 2 days when I wasn't trying to figure out where, my now ex had run off with our two daughters. When I wasn't trying to figure that out, I was drunk for 2 days straight. Um, and I lived like that. Well, we get to the end of the 2 days. It's now day three. I'm sitting there on, the couch, hungover, hungover. And I thought this was the end. Um, I took a load at 357. Now, bear in mind, I've made jokes about this in the past, and I mean, I continue to make the jokes in AA meetings, um, but I do, bear with me. I know this is going to sound like dark humor, and I apologize for anyone that's lost loved ones due to suicide, but kind of bear with me a moment. In AA meetings, you'll hear me say, of all the things, I loaded all six chambers, and if I thought I was going to miss that close, I probably shouldn't be attempting suicide. Uh, but in reality, I was so distraught and hungover that in my wild thinking, I guess you could say, my alcohol induced mind that was dealing with all this pain and everything. Um, you know, Loading all six chambers was just a natural thing. I'm a target shooter, okay, or I'm a target shooter. Anyhow, um, so in essence, here I am, hungover, and um, I take my 357 and I actually load in each and every round, okay, just out of pain. Shut it, and I cock my, did the whole thing. I'm getting ready to do it. Hammer's cocked, and I know that 357. Know it well. Um, as I'm getting ready, and my finger's getting ready to touch that trigger. That's hair trigger on that revolver. Phone rings, and I jumped. Came just a smidgen close to squeezing that trigger, anyways. And if it had, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. So, this already has an interesting ending. Notice I said interesting. Uh, and to this day, I don't know why I answered, but I answered that phone. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Mikey G? I answered the phone. I pick up the phone. Hey. Yep. Yep. Definitely hit the bottom at that time. Well said, Chairman. Well said. Um, so, I answer the phone, and it's Tanya. And hello? It's Tanya. What are you doing? I'm sitting here on the couch. And she says, what are you really doing? I don't know how she knew there was something wrong, but she knew there was something wrong. I was sitting here on the couch with my 357. I was just getting ready to end it when you called. I don't know why I confessed what was really going on. And she says, she started chewing me out like any good non-alcoholic friend. She started chewing me out for about close to a half an hour. Then the rest of the half hour, she talked me into going for outpatient treatment. So basically uh, I checked myself in for outpatient treatment, And then they told me to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. That story is pretty much history now. We all know that story. February 7th, I go in to an outpatient treatment center. What are you doing here? I have a problem with alcohol. Okay, what judge sent you? No judge sent me. Okay, what drug court sent you? No drug court. What are you doing here? I just said I have a problem with alcohol. I need help. I can't stop. My family can't stand me. Oh, oh, you're not here for legal problems. You're here because you really need help. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Gotan? It's good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing? So, in essence, they it's awesome. They so we all know that story. That's that story is everyone pretty well knows that story. Well, for the first month and a half of my sobriety, this is the kind of the stuff that a lot of people don't talk about. When you hear an alcoholic talk, you always hear about how, they what happened at rehab? Mostly it was supposed to be kind of every other week. What's going on, Simon? Um, it wasn't rehab per se. It was outpatient treatment. Rehabilitation in this case would have been me going into an actual treatment center, which would have taken uh, 28 days. Some of them take a little bit longer, but I still had a job to go to. I still had the apartment, so I had to keep up with all of this. And it just wasn't in the cards for me to check into outpatient treatment. And to be absolutely honest with you, you know, the way that I did it was the best way for me. Trust me. Um, Actually, it ended up working out probably better than most people would imagine, but that's another story for another time. I've seen that, Gotans. Thank you so much. I was in outpatient treatment for 9 months, and they basically said, look, you're doing too good. There's no sense in us keeping you here. There's no reason for us to continue your treatment. You're doing too good. Gave me a certificate and said, yeah, he's graduated. Alcoholics Anonymous is doing its job. Because most of the time I'd just go in there and talk about AA anyways. That was really about it. That's all I did. They'd give me a worksheet, said, you're welcome to look at it, but you're already doing it. You're already past what we're working on, what we're handing you. But it might help you. It most likely won't. You're doing too good. So that was pretty much all I did, was just talk about what was going on in AA. Things that I learned. That was it. That's all we did. Pretty much. But anyhow, first month and a half of basically of my sobriety, all my friends and all of my family had given up hope on me. I was alone outside of an AA meeting. I would go to work, I would go home. That's it. And then I would go to AA meetings. That was my life. Trying to put it all back together. That was it. There was one person, though, who stood right by my side, and that was the friend Tanya, who talked me into outpatient treatment. She, when I would go into withdrawals, oh, thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate that. Tanya, when I would go into withdrawals, Tanya would be the one to, she would hold me when I would go into withdrawals. And if you've never experienced alcohol withdrawals, what that's like is basically your entire body goes into like this excruciating pain. It's just like if you've ever had back pain, like you hurt your back, imagine that all over your whole body. That your whole body feels like that. Your vision narrows down from where you can see like that to Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Diane, for telling me that. Wow, thank you. Um, I don't know if you guys know, um, Diane, with what you're talking about, this is why I do this segment once a week. Um, this is why I do it. You guys will have to excuse me. Um, and thank you for telling me that. Um, anytime your son wants to talk, if he ever needs someone to listen to him, I'm more than glad to listen anytime he needs. Thank you for telling me that. Um, as I was saying, my friend Tanya was the one who would hold me while I, hey, what's going on, Ian? Oh, I understand, V. Good to see you. Ian, scroll up through the comments just a moment ago. Um, you'll see that I'm a little misty eyed and for good reason. You might want to do the same. You might want to take a look at the comments that are right above. I I'm speechless right now. Oh wow. Oh, awesome. Yes, most definitely. I understand. I understand, V. It's good to see you guys. Um, so back to the story about Tanya. And there's a lot of you in here that know this story all too well. But for I kind of need to touch base on it. Something told me I needed to tonight. And I got a funny feeling, Diane, that, oh yeah, oh yeah, I know that feeling all too well. But if you've never experienced withdrawals, what it's like is basically your vision just narrows down, your whole body. If you've ever had back troubles and that pain that comes with back troubles, imagine that your whole body. Well, I'll tell you, just knowing that he's alive and well is my thank you. That's my thank you right now. So as I was saying, the experiences of withdrawals is horrible. Dizziness, even lightheadedness. You can't concentrate. Shoot, I even swore up and down that the ends of my hair hurt and there is no nerve endings there. Not a joke. Okay? That's the kind of pain you experience with alcoholic withdrawals, which evidently, Chairman, it seems like it's pretty similar to oxycodone withdrawals. Um, so now that I've said that, excuse me, soft drinks. They're not good for you, but doggone it, and they make you burp a lot, but doggone it, they taste good from time to time. But anyhow, uh, so what ends up happening is, along with that, the friends that I had that had kind of turned, I wouldn't say necessarily they, oh, really? Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know that, Chairman. I didn't know quite that deep, but yeah. Um, so now that I've said all of that, along with that, the friends that I had at the time, um, they're like, "Oh, he'll be back to it in about a week, and then we need to run for our lives," sort of thing. So It's that sort of thing that, basically they really, they'd kind of given up on me. And again, my family didn't even know what to do with me. They really didn't do anything. It was Tanya right there, all the way. Keep going. I like who I see. I remember one day I got upset and I said, I gave up drinking to deal with this shit. And she slapped me across the face. She said, don't you ever say that again. I never want to have to go through dealing with you going through withdrawals again. She said, it hurts me to watch you go through that. Don't you ever say that again. I like this Prince Magnum 1,000 times more than the Prince Magnum I remember before sobriety. And don't you ever forget it. I like this one. Well, by this, so first month and a half, she watched me. She watched me basically start becoming who I am today. And thank you for that, girl, Tons. Um, Tanya, Tanya was at this time getting ready to go through a divorce. And for that first month and a half, I began developing feelings. And before I knew it, I realized I was in love with her. I was afraid to say something though. You know, what would she have interest in me for? Blah, 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 blah. You get the general idea. Usual fears that go with everybody, along with that, she was also dating my best friend at the time and didn't think it was a good idea. I figured I'd done enough damage in one lifetime. So I was really scared at this point. I just knew I was in love with her. It is what it is, right? So, I'm going through the steps and everything, and we get to my fourth step, and I made a conscious decision the day that I was getting ready to start my fourth step that I needed to call Tanya. I called her up. What you working on right now, Tanya? Just chilling. Kids are all taking a nap. And well, no, I'm sitting here at home. She's just gotten a new apartment. She's kids are in the other room taking a nap. They're over for a visit today, but they're in taking a nap. I said, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, what's on your mind? And basically, I started to confess that how important she was to me. I started talking about, like one of the things I distinctly remember saying to her that um, that I pity the rest of the world because I knew her and they didn't know her. Um, how the whole world should be envious of me because I knew her and they didn't. Um, that you sometimes hear about living angels among us, and I knew one, and it was her. Stuff like that. And all she could say is, nobody's ever said anything like that to me. And I said, I'm saying it to you. Unfortunately, in this conversation, I didn't come out and say I was in love with her, but it was there. That was on a Tuesday. Thursday, she hung out with my best friend. Friday, she's in the hospital with what looks like pneumonia. Oh boy. It looked like she was going to be okay. Saturday, she was sitting up in bed, enjoying a nice lunch and everything, talking with my best friend. And she said, I need to talk to Prince Magnum. Well, Tanya said this to me. She said, I need to talk to him about something. There's something really important I need to talk to him about. Tell him to get his butt in here. And in the middle of this conversation, she says, I got a funny feeling I'm not exactly out of the woods yet. Best friend calls me up, tells me what's going on. Work had a typical nursing home, call outs, call outs, call outs, especially on night shift. Night shifters, show up for your fucking shift. Um, what ends up happening is My best friend tells me, after I just pulled down, while I was at work, he tells me, "Hey, man, um, Tanya wanted to speak to you." I ended up working a double shift, and when I left that morning, I said, "You know what? Screw you guys." I said, "You work us like a dog. Night shift gets away with not coming in. I'm not coming into work today. Call someone in." I said, "I have something important I need to do today, anyways." I said, "Screw you guys." I said, "If you're going to cut into my life, you can now cut into your staff." Um, so that was my call out for the day. That was how I responded. Basically, it's like, "What's going on, Carla? Good to see you." So I I'm again, this is Sunday now. I get up, it's about noon. I put on a nice looking button down silk shirt with black silk button down shirt with oriental white dragons all over it. I still got the shirt, guys. 15 years later, I still got the shirt. I put on a nice pair of jeans, these nice looking zip up boots. They look like cowboy boots, but they're actually Czech Republic military dress boots. Don't ask me how I get my hands on this stuff, okay? I have connections. Actually, it's cheaper than dirt. I doubt they can get their hands on anything like that ever again. But really nice looking. They were comfortable. My God, those things were comfortable. Okay. Um, and got all done up nice, had my hair, all fixed up nice, nice looking necklace. Go out and I buy a dozen roses. Go to the hospital. I have full intentions. I'm going to tell Tanya I'm in love with you. Head over heels for you. Crazy for you. I'm going to confess it all to her. I've been hiding my emotions for a long time for you. Her sister stops me at the door and says, "Prince Magnum, you can't go back." "Why can't I go back?" "Tanya died twice. They brought her back each time. She's in a coma right now." I literally felt like the floor was falling out from underneath me and I was falling forever. I honestly felt like I was just falling forever. There I am, dozen of roses, ready to confess my love to this woman. And she's in a coma. And I've heard so many people say this sounds like it'd make one hell of a movie. I don't know about all that. All I know is it sucked. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to the waiting room, ended up meeting her dad. And I was there from around about noon all the way till about 3 in the morning, just waiting. They put the flowers on water for me. I didn't know what to do. The family all took pretty good care of me. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, "Look, man, I'm going to go home. I'm going to rest. I'll be back here bright and early." Set an alarm. 7 o'clock, I get back in there. Her dad pulls everybody in. This is now Monday. This is now Monday, a week before since I had started confessing my feelings. And this is now, Monday. And her dad pulls us all together in the waiting room. Says, "Here's the situation. We had a long discussion last night. Tanya went one more time. She's still in a coma. It doesn't look good." Says, "Look, I know all too well that, Tanya doesn't want to live like this. She's going to be a vegetable, guys. The doctors have said that her brain is toast. She's not going to pull through this without being a vegetable for the rest of her life. And I know this is not how she wants to live. So we've come to the conclusion that if she goes one more time, we're going to let her go. We're going to start letting you all go back and see her. We ask that you, that you say your goodbyes." while you're at it, go ahead and we want you to tell her that if she's tired, she can let go anytime. It took a while, but they let myself and some friends go back. I, my best friend and one of our lady friends, Candy, they were on the left side of the bed. I was on her right side. All the tubes and everything sticking out of her. I reached down, I took her hand. Her hand was so cold. I was a month and a half sober at the time, and I reached into my pocket, pulled out my 1 month coin. Somehow I inherited two of them. I don't remember exactly how, but I pulled out that 1 month coin, one of them, and I laid it up on her chest. I said, Tanya, I don't know if you can hear this, but if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't be standing here right now. It'd be me in this bed, probably, or worse. I owe you everything. Um, wherever you go, no matter what happens, take this with you, because without your help, I wouldn't have gotten in the first place. What's going on, Ron? Good to see you. Telling the story of Tanya. We're going to get to why I'm telling it in just a moment. It's kind of really important I tell this story tonight. I also had to be the one who leaned down, said, Tanya, if you're tired, it's okay to let go. We'll be okay. We'll be all right. You can let go if you need to. Two of my dear friends on the other side couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. I had to be the one. And at that moment, I said, also, I know we're not supposed to do anything like this. I said, but I'm going to make you a promise right now, Tanya. I'm going to make you a big promise. And that promise is, you hear about those AA winners? I'm going to be one of them. I promise you that. I will be one of those AA winners you hear about. Years of sobriety and makes a big difference. That was the last time I seen Tanya alive. I went to work, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. My director of nursing is coming back. Said, Prince Magnum, I got bad news. What's up? Tanya just passed. She passed before I had a chance to tell her I was in love with her. The reason why I'm telling you this, and I could have told this story last week, but I didn't want to do it. March 20th, it's been 15 years since she's been gone. It still hurts like hell. Not gonna lie. It still hurts like hell. Hey, Galaxy. There's still so many mysteries surrounding this. Your tail is in my face, sweetie. Um, all I know is that if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't be here right now. Went to the funeral. It was a weird, it was weird. I don't know what to say. Yeah. I'm also telling this story again because for some odd reason, for whatever reason or another, I get this feeling there's someone watching right now who's hurting. I don't know who it is. Haven't a clue. But I've got this feeling that somebody needs to hear this story more than anything right now. I got through it. I'm still sober. I didn't relapse during that time. I did everything I was supposed to do. I reached out to my AA friends and I stayed. In the end, the friends that I had that had kind of walked out on my life, it shocked them into coming back in and supporting me and getting me through the hard part. Um, I have one hell of a story because of that woman today. I really do. I mean, there's not many of us in Alcoholics Anonymous that have a story like this. I do, and I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate for the great deal of my story that she's contributed to, because pretty much it's the entire story if you think about it. Everything you hear in sober talk, everything that, all of my vast experiences since February 7th, 2006 on has been a part of her, what she did, that one act of just listening to her heart and picking up the phone to ask me how I was doing. Nobody knew it was going to turn out the way that it did. And I will tell you all, some days I feel like I took, that she basically took my place on the chopping block. Like one of us had to pass, and because she saved me, she took my place. There's parts of me that sometimes feel that way. Even to this day, I have to tell myself that's not the case. Her last bit of work was done, and it was time for her to go home, whatever home is, if you will. Um, but that's just the way it is. But for some odd reason, being that it's her it's been 15 years since she's been gone from this world. Big streamer hug to you, Ron. Um, being that it's been so long, right? But it still hurts, not gonna lie. Um, I still get choked up thinking about it. My wife knows this story probably better than even I know the story. So much so, I took her to Tanya's gravesite shortly after we first got married, and she left Tanya a little letter basically saying thank you for saving my my husband's life. If it hadn't been for you, he wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be married to him. You know, so she thanked her. I know sometimes some ladies get really almost like jealous, but that's not really the case here. I'm very fortunate that my own wife, um, she gets it. But as of March 20th this year, it's been 15 years since her passing. Um, there are many that debate whether or not she really did know. I don't know. I can tell you one of the biggest mysteries. This is a giant mystery. I know she went in front of our director of nursing, was talking to her, just chit chat, idle chit chat. And as she was talking to our director of nursing, um, the subject of dating my best friend came up, and in not so many words, she says, I think I have made a mistake. And this was Wednesday, the day right after I had talked to her. She says, I think I might have made a mistake on who I was supposed to be with. She could have been referring to her husband, for all we know. There's a lot of mystery to it. And the other big mystery, what did she want to talk to me about? I haven't a clue. I don't know to this day. There will be many that will speculate, but she took all of that with her to the grave. We don't know. I guess it's going to be one of those questions when my time comes. Maybe I'll get to ask her. But for right now, we can all debate. So debate all you want, guys. There is one other debate amongst all of you. The last time I talked to them, they're doing really good. How you doing, Charlie? Good to see you, buddy. I talked to who would have been her ex-husband. Their kids are pretty well grown up very nicely. She left behind 4 children. She was actually, when I was 26 when she passed, she was 27. It's been a minute, and she was still pretty young. Still pretty young. From what I remember, her oldest daughter is like a spitting image of her. Well, it's good to see you too, buddy. It's good to see you too. Her oldest daughter, like just like her mini me, if you will. And just all of her children, just beautiful, beautiful children. Um, you know, and who would have been her ex-husband. Last time I seen him, he was doing really good. He was doing real good. I think he was actually no, he was working for someplace, making good money, making real good money. Raised those kids on his own, was doing his own thing. Yeah, good man, good man. Um, so many mysteries on that. So many so that honestly and truthfully, it's like, you know, some even speculate that Tanya reached out and had Princess Faye come to take care of me. There's many that even speculate that one too. Not a joke. I don't know about all that. I think it might have been written in the stars on that one. Because that woman puts up with an awful lot of my shit. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Okay. But again, I know that a great deal, many of you, for whatever reason or another, there's somebody in that's probably watching right now. What's playing after this live? Well, I get to go in, make a few resets on the computer and everything. I will not be able to live stream this, but I'll be able to cut, record, and we'll just release it for tomorrow morning, regardless. Mr. Gamerin, if you would do the honors and grab the link for your channel. This will be a collab of sorts. And if Mr. Gamerin will post that link in the chat in about a half an hour after this stream, we'll be going live over on his channel. I will be recording. We will be playing Save the World. And Ron, we're taking on the Storm King. Strap yourself in, kiddies. Yes, I am very lucky to have. Actually, I'm lucky to have had Tanya in my life, and I'm lucky to be married to a very wonderful woman. No question about it. We will be doing Save the World Fortnite, or Fortnite Save the World, however you want to say it. We going to Storm King in Canny Valley. And it's going to be one hell of a fight. Earlier today, if you want to know what the fight kind of looks like, thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. We will be going live on his channel. I will be recording on my end. Oh, tomorrow's a big day for you? Ooh, you better tell something. You better tell something there, brother. But we going to Storm King, and it's gonna get bad. It's gonna be bad juju because the video I posted today that I slept right through the premiere of, because I don't get much time to slow down anymore. Yes, Soberman is still around. Soberman still sponsors me. I need to call Soberman, and I've got some stuff I want to talk to him about. Stuff that's on the mind, you know. Um, that sort of thing, Life happens, and sometimes you just got to bounce stuff. Ooh, okay, okay, all right. Yeah, Soberman is still around. He still sponsors me. He does have, Soberman lives in Branson, Missouri, while I live on the other side of the state in a small town. That's why. But yes, that's why. I have been wanting to, and Soberman and I have even talked about it. We've talked about it at great length. That to at least even record him telling his story, and he's down for it. I just gotta make the drive, and that is not as easy as it sounds. Okay, there's a lot that planning something like this out. For those of you out there, yes, you did, and thank you, Ian. So we will be going live over on Mr. Yes, he has one hell of a story, and he tells it just. Oh, so you know? I got a funny feeling you know who Soberman is. Yes, he has one hell of a story. I need to go see him. He's an amazing, amazing friend. I'd like to go with him to a meeting because I imagine just if you ever heard Soberman in a meeting, he'll blow you away. Just amazing. Right on, Mikey G. So tonight, uh, as soon as this live stream shuts down, the clock will be ticking. Half an hour marker into this hour. Okay, the half hour marker, or you guys half past this hour marker, wherever you are in the world, will be over on Mr. Gamer Ian's channel, which he put in the chat just a moment ago. Just an amazing, it's going to be the Storm King. I know Mr. Gamerian is going to be there. The lovely Princess Fei Rue will be there. And of course, yours truly, because I'm the one who unlocked it. Hopefully Bad Bat's able to join us. I hope he'll be on. I told him about it. I said, you got to be there, man. I said, I'd really like you to be there. And Bad Bat is, he's a great guy. Great guy. I don't think he gets enough credit for how, if you ever had a chance to really kind of talk to him off to the side, he's really a nice guy. Um, you know, outspoken, but really nice guy. All righty. So I hope you all enjoyed hearing tonight's story. The chat was acting really goofy earlier, but hey, we soldiered through it, and it's been one hell of a stream. Again, at day's end, it's all of the members of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's all of you guys out there that continue to support me. You guys are the ones helping me stay sober, listening to what I have to say. Because a lot of times whenever I say, tell these stories and things like that, and talk about life in general, it reminds me who I am and where I came from. Because what I was once before, if you will, where I came from, wasn't exactly, it wasn't good from who I once was. And I refer to it almost like night and day. I know if my younger version met me today, I would kick my younger version's ass all over the place. So, you guys keep me from becoming that person all over again. So if you've ever wondered if you were worth anything, yes, you are. That brings us to a good stopping point. A stopping point where we let out in a very, very special manner here on Sober Talk. Is very special. It's only for Sober Talk. And it goes like this. At day's end, I hope all of you need me as much as I need you. And as always, for every last one of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.